r/Askreddit by Reddit and chill. Attractive teachers of Reddit. Did you know which students had a crush on you? And what is the strangest or most inappropriate thing you overheard said about you? Removed. I did my student teaching with seniors and I was like 21. A year or two later one of them found me on Twitter and asked me on a date because he was in the army and not a little ass kid anymore. I politely declined. Son, why are you enlisting? To hook up with a hot ass teacher, of course. I used to have a chili pepper on ratemyprofessor.com. That's how I knew. They have since taken it down on the site. I kinda wish it was still there. My husband also had a chili pepper. I did not. Womp womp. Students like to tell on each other. It usually goes like this. MR. All of the girls were talking about you in the locker room. Nope. Don't wanna hear it. So and so said you're hot and so said. And then I keep saying nope as I walk away. I had a student hand me a note from a secret admirer in her own handwriting. And there's been things written about me in desks. Mostly about my eyes and voice. Now kids just say you're looking like a snack. Now kids just say you're looking like a snack. Plot twist. No romantic innuendo. Just straight up cannibalistic desires. A student stole me a bottle of vodka and left it on my desk with a love heart carved around it. Edit. I'm not Russian. So romantic. When I taught in Korea, my middle school boys called me sexy teacher to my face. Every day. I'm blonde and green-eyed and the kids found it fascinating. Most inappropriate was a kid who raised his hand in the middle of the lesson to ask if all of my hair was the same color. Basically asking if the carpet matched the drapes. The creepiest though was a kid who used to collect my hair and keep it in his notebook. Better than that is my friend who is an elementary school teacher and had multiple kids lick her. She's black and they wanted to see what she tasted like. What a very duck. When I was just starting, had one of the girls, I was only 4 years older, ask me to feel her abs as she pulled up her shirt. Didn't know what to do so I just walked out of the room. Not exactly textbook procedure on how to handle it but my brain short-circuited for a second. Edit. Row. I didn't expect this comment to blow up but I'm happy my most popular comment is about something I didn't screw up. For those that asked. Yes. I am a dude. Yes. The abs were pretty great. Yes. We had a great relationship before and after and while not the best way to handle the situation, I never brought it up again and neither did she. Oh. And thanks for the gold and silver. First time for me. Removing yourself from the situation is probably the best course of action. Edit. Leave my poor autocorrect and large hands alone. I'm not attractive but I did find out a 3rd grader had a crush on me because she straight up told me. I had suspected it because she would give me a hug basically every time she saw me and say things like Mr. Leaflet is so funny, cool, and handsome. She did go through a phase where she randomly hated me and refused to talk to me most of the time. But then after a couple weeks of that she randomly gave me a hug one morning and said I like you again. That kid was a little boy crazy. How do you even address that? Do you ignore it? Inform the parents? Boss? Teacher here. The first year teaching I was 22 and the students were 18. I was like this is going to be weird. I searched my name on Twitter and this one girl had me as her man crush Monday several times. Find out she used to whisper his finesse and finally gave me her number on the last day of school. Had another student say I had a tight butt. I think I've lost my sex appeal because my students now think I'm 47 when I'm really 30. That's the natural progression of being a teacher. Look young for your age. Have difficulties being taken seriously. Age quickly from stress. Look way too old for your age. Have difficulties relating to the students because they think you're an old boomer. Had an art teacher pretend he's gay in his previous school because a lot of the female students were crushing on him hard. He did realize that he also had male admirers and him declaring he's gay just increased his admirers. Girls love him. I'm gay. Sorry girls. Guys love him. Damn it. I mean, I'm asexual. A girl said to her friends, MR. Teacher has a donk. It was kinda quiet. But I heard it. I turned around and gave her a WTF look. She got super embarrassed. I felt weird. A donk? Edit. Thank you all for these excellent explanations. I know now that a donk is in fact a donk. My husband is the attractive teacher at school. We work at the same school together. I constantly overhear groups of girls saying MR. Katigato is so hot, and when we got engaged I swear several of my female students changed their whole attitude toward me in such a negative way. The students didn't know we were officially a thing until we got engaged. But now that we have a baby, I have heard kids make comment about us having sex. I always just make super prolonged eye contact with them when they see that I've heard them say something, and they turn into blushing piles of embarrassed mush. This reminds me of a story from 6th grade. My teacher was new to the school and was engaged to be married later in the year. Every day, other than one instance where she was justifiably upset, she'd always be in a great mood and smiled like she'd explode if her smile disappeared. Being the 12-year-old males that we were, my friends and I came to conclusion that our teacher must be happy every day because she'd always be having sex every night of the week. She never heard any of us talk about it openly that we knew of, but now I can see how bad it would have been had she found out. I don't think I'm attractive, but I heard some students commenting about my ass a couple times. Besides that, last semester I was lecturing classical mechanics. I could swear that the boy who always sits in front of my desk stared at my tits every time I was writing something. About 3 weeks ago, I'm not his teacher anymore. He knocked the door of my lab looking for me. He then asked if I would go on a date with him. I'm a 23-year physicist. I mean, a lot of guys find intelligence very attractive. That's all I'm saying. I know of 2 students who had crushes on me when I did my student teaching. Just avoid the situations. Whenever we talked, I made sure to place myself in clear view of the door, and our individual conversations were always with a desk between us. I was a big on making sure every student had a proper handshake and eye contact as a life skill. So that kept hugging out of my classroom. Wholesome sharing. I teach 6-8-year-olds. So this is a very SFW story. One of my students, who was a boy, would always stare at my face, then squeeze my cheeks and lay his face on my arm because I was cute. He also showers me with compliments, and whenever I have makeup on he would say I look like a celebrity. Of course at that age, they do not have the concept of crush yet, but still, the thought that a kid finds me good looking is still a confidence boost because at least someone finds me cute, hahaha. I feel like if a little kid says you're pretty, that's such a big compliment. Because kids usually aren't afraid to call you ugly, lol. A female teacher of mine was told by a student during an exam to sit down because if he sees her body his blood is rushing into other directions instead of his head. Guy musta had huge balls, literally and metaphorically. Had a student, not underage, ask me out. I was teaching a college class and he asked me to a ball. I told him I planned to take my fiancée. He begged me to dump plans with my fiancée. Lol. In the end he walked away disappointed. Got to give him points for boldness, I guess. Not a teacher, but the weird girl at school said she fell in love with Mr. What's name and wanted to cut off his penis and wear it as a necklace. I didn't know whether she wanted to duck him or kill him. Also, it was a Catholic school. Shit was weird anyway. Fell in love with Mr. What's name and wanted to cut off his penis. This is basically normal behavior for female spiders and many predatory insects. I find your school's lack of interspecies awareness tolerance disturbing. At my school the students knew which teachers had a crush on students. Are there any interesting stories? Or did any scandal or whatever happened? English teacher here. Girls on puberty just seem to want to have a crush on any guy that's somewhat close to them and unreachable for an actual relationship. And the teacher fits it perfectly. Teenager girls keep trying to approach physically and use any excuse to hug me, and if I don't set clear limits they try to touch me. Nothing explicit or really bizarre ever happened to me, but it really feels weird sometimes. Edit. Typo. We have to get those girls off puberty. It's a hell of a drug. On the first day of class a student took a photo of me and uploaded it to Instagram with the caption "fresh meat." Oh my lord, were they reprimanded. I overheard one student remark to another that I had nice tits. I dress conservatively at work. But I guess just being able to see the silhouette of breasts is enough for 9th grade boys. Shit. In 9th grade you probably could have flashed a little ankle and I'd have been as hard as a diamond in an ice storm. There is a nonverbal very large severely autistic young man at my school who goes into a rage and attacks other teachers and students and flips tables and desks if I am not where I am supposed to be when he wants me to be. I think maybe I remind him of someone else. I am a middle-aged woman with kids older than he is. He badly injured a teacher last week when I had a meeting and was not at lunch. He stares at me from across the cafeteria or gym and looks away smiling every time I look over. I am not his teacher and he doesn't react this way to anyone else at the school. This sounds terrifying. When I was around 25 I used to substitute. And it was mainly at a pretty affluent high school. There were girls who would come by my room between classes just to hang around and talk. Then there was the girl who wanted me to read her poetry. The funniest was the drama class I subbed for where they didn't even try to be subtle. It was a very loosey-goosey class anyway, in the school's theater. There were 3 girls who crowded around me the whole class and were asking for my phone number and my address because they wanted to come hang out. I told them we couldn't. One day I was at the mall with a buddy of mine. And a group of high school girls saw me and came running up to me. Kinda hanging on and around me and talking. My friends shot me a look. I mouthed a silent I swear I haven't touched them. I met a guy around that time. He was kind of a jerk, who was bragging about secretly dating a high school girl from that school. He was mid to late 20s. When he found out I subbed there, he said, "Oh, you're the substitute with the goatee they are always talking about. You're kind of a legend with those girls, you should hook up with some." Left double quotation mark. I soon decided to stop substituting. Methinks jerk guy needed a reporting. I had a student with a crush on me. I was in my late 20s teaching seniors in high school. He constantly emailed me with questions about college applications and stuff. But sometimes his friends would hack his account and send me emails from his account saying how much he loved me. I responded and said I cared about him but only as a student. After he graduated high school he would email me when he was drunk saying he loved me, then he would follow up the next morning saying he never meant to send that. I didn't really respond to those. When he graduated college he did try to ask me out for ales and I turned him down again politely. Edit. Fixed one verb tense since someone told me they could tell I wasn't an English teacher due to a typo lol. I'm a math teacher. Yeah. Those hacking friends. On the farewell day, a student told me that if I have daughter he wishes to marry her. Wait. This is some next level shit. Marrying somebody's daughter just to get closer to them is an amount of dedication I have not witnessed in any of my students before. I have a student who won't leave me alone. He's in my room every chance he gets. Even so far as getting to school an hour and a half early to wait outside of my classroom. While I'm in meetings in the morning he's pacing outside the room waiting for the meeting to end. When I have midday meetings he's waiting at my classroom begging me to skip them or bring him with me. I have no privacy. This is my 2nd year and I decided to be casually out with my students. And I was hoping the fact that I'm a lesbian would shut him down at least a little. But either he hasn't noticed or he won't accept it. I wonder if he has a bad home life with attachment issues. From what you're saying, it could either be a crush or some kind of attachment to you as a caring authority figure. I only taught for 2 years. But that stuff happened pretty regularly. It's mostly innocent little crush stuff that none of them would even want to act upon. However, one time a rather trashy, but definitely not unattractive girl came straight up to me at lunch. Looked me right in the eyes. Bit her lower lip. Then said, "I'ma holler at you at the end of the year." Then she just walked off. Oh. I also had a male student hug me goodbye at the end of the year. And I could totally feel his super hard dong against my thigh. But I didn't say anything. When I was on placement I was told to stay away and keep my distance from a student because he was caught masturbating in the previous week. I laughed aloud considering the kid was in year 6. Interesting that most of the stories are from male teachers being hit on by female students. Yeah, this isn't my fetish at all, WTF. Edit. This is a stupid joke and I'm disappointed in you all. Back when I was student teaching, I had a male student straight up yell at me in the hall, "I think you're hot." I was in my early 20s and looked younger than that and not at all confident as a teacher yet, so I was literally speechless. Now I would have enough guts to tell them that's inappropriate. But back then I literally just stood there awkwardly with a "I wish this wasn't happening" look on my face. Ducking. Like and subscribe.